Yo, what is going on, guys? Got a video here today from Alpha Central titled When Being Strong and Independent Goes Wrong. It should be a good one. Today's video was suggested to me by Matrix of Madness. I'm going to leave both of their channels linked in the pinned comments. Make sure you go and subscribe to these guys. Don't forget to leave your own comments, and let's jump right into the video.
Looked up what the 4B movement is, and I literally fell to the ground crying. I had finally pulled myself together today because we actually are in a dangerous situation. Aside from the news this morning about who won the election, we actually have a fire that started, and it is very close to where I live, and people are now losing their homes very close to where I live. So I was sent home early today from work, but
the 4B movement is absolutely absurd. It's been proven by the South Koreans themselves that the 4B movement is really just a small group of incredibly loud womanists, and yet these women will act like it's the biggest thing to ever happen in the history of humans.
that's not what this is about. I literally looked up what the 4B movement was. If you don't know what the 4B movement is, Korean women had decided to stop having babies until they received equal rights, and their country was screwed because they weren't having enough kids. Their population was going down too quickly. I cannot believe that that was something that had to be done, and that now we are at our rock bottom and this is where we are at. I feel like I'm in a different world today. This is so heartbreaking. I'm beyond words and feelings today. Beyond.
The legitimate reason for the decline of Korean birth rates has nothing to do with equal rights and everything to do with Korean economics. People cannot afford to raise a child with everything being too expensive. And I was able to confirm this within a 30-second Google search and 3 TikTok videos, which means that I did more research than this woman did.
Woman playing against a man tennis player, you can see it being fairly competitive.
Serena and Venus Williams did exactly that. Challenged any professional male player to a match as long as they were outside of the top 200. The challenge was accepted by Karsten Brosch, who was ranked 203rd in the world. And the match was a close one. He beat Serena 6-1 and Venus 6-2.
It's a completely different sport. The men are a lot faster. I love to play women's tennis, and I only want to play girls because I don't want to be embarrassed.
There is a reason why we have different sport divisions for men and women, and yet there are modern women who believe their feelings will somehow magically make a man physically weaker in competition.
What comes to your mind if I say what would you say men are better at than women?
I think men are better at probably
It's like muscle stuff. Usually we're pretty good at.
I think women are just as strong as men.
It's interesting how the kinds of women who believe men are inferior all live lives of profound privilege. They live in big cities, have high-paying jobs, and not only benefit from the labor of men, but they also take credit for it while providing nothing in return.
Physically?
Yeah, I do.
But they're not though, right? She's not okay. She's not crying. I didn't ask anything. I was just asking what's the difference between men and women.
She knows that she's wrong, but she's doubling down on this notion because she would rather cling onto her cult-like delusions than admit a basic, inoffensive biological fact.
I love the mansplaining. I'm enjoying it.
You're loving what?
The mansplaining that's going on.
What
just talking me through how by not answering the question, by repeating processes which are not related to the question that I've asked.
What's mansplaining, Senator?
Well, it's the slightly patronising and condescending way that you're responding to my questions.
Well, I would suggest, Senator, that if you're putting the word man in front of some description of what I'm doing, you're doing that which I'm sure you're very much against.
This guy knows what he's talking about. The whole concept of mansplaining is just a nonsense term that modern women use to justify being patronizing to men. and he's not putting up with it. Good for him.
He's making a implication about how I'm conducting my role as a man.
Well, then the easiest way to do it...
Is that what you're saying, Senator?
Well, what I'm saying is that the way you've been responding to me has been patronising and condescending, and I have responded to that. So the easiest way to deal with this is not to have that way in responding to questions I've asked.
Imagine the reaction, Senator, if I said you were woman-splaining. You're saying that I'm mansplaining.
Well, it is.
These women are completely blind to what they are doing. By engaging in this whole mansplaining garbage, all they're doing is promoting the very same kind of sexism that they claim to be bravely fighting against.
The term that's used.
Is it by whom?
Well,
by
it
rude,
is a term that's used.
By rude
doesn't make
by rude senators.
You haven't.
Let the
you
record
don't
show. Let the record
the term
show,
mansplaining.
Chair, that Senator Gallagher thinks it's appropriate to refer to a senator as mansplaining. Take a good look at yourself. I mean, sitting here and saying to a male senator, you're mansplaining. If I said to a female senator, you are womansplaining, there would be uproar. Stop being a hypocrite. Conduct yourself appropriately for this place.
He is absolutely right, guys. If you're an elected official, you are obligated to conduct yourself in a mature manner when conducting official proceedings. Here we have a woman who's being unprofessional, condescending, and making a mockery of government just because her feelings are hurt.
I'm sorry you're so offended by the use of the word. It is a word that's used. I'm surprised that you're so shocked by the use of the word.
No, I'm just calling hypocrisy. Hypocrisy. Thy name is Labor. Thy name is Senator Gallagher.
Now, she refuses to admit that she's being a hypocrite here. The whole concept of womanism is a complete joke. They claim to want equality, and yet they demand to be able to get away with the things that a man would be severely punished for doing.
Bro, your tire fell off.
What do you mean?
Bro,
huh?
Pull over. You don't have a tire on your rim. Bro. Yo, she's straight tripping.
What's horrifying is that there's a department that actively decided that she was competent enough to drive, and she can't even tell when she's driving on her rims. She probably thinks a replacement tire is $20.
You okay?
No, I'm just kicking. Look, she's pissed.
She's actually angry right now.
If you win again, she might punch you.
I kind of want to see it.
I know, me too.
Can we get a flex off? 2, 1, go!
Get it done, girl. Get it done.
Come on!
Let's go. Smash it, smash it.
Turn! Ryan, go! Go! Grab the table with your other arm. Pull! Come on, Come on, Ryan!
Does anybody else find it interesting how the guy was having fun and the woman straight up made a threat of physical violence if he won? That's not intimidating. That is something a child would do.
Ryan, stop laughing! Come on!
Oh my God.
Push! Go!
Use that muscle.
She's quitting!
Oh, come on.
Hit her!
A little more,
Hit her.
dude.
Go! Ryan, come on, bro! Put her down! He wins! Let's go! Let's go!
Modern women have zero idea that just because you have muscles, it doesn't mean that you're automatically an expert at arm wrestling or any other sport. They refuse to accept that these competitions require skill, and it's rather insulting that they view men as this incompetent.
I think being really young and dumb is something that plays into it because you don't really understand the consequences of your actions.
But what was my dad
the
not doing
consequences
that made you want to look elsewhere?
I don't know, because he was such a great husband and such a great dad, and I think that I fell into a situation where I thought that the grass was greener somewhere else. And I made a huge mistake. That's like my life's biggest regret.
That's just it, guys. A man could be the best possible version of himself. He could be in great shape, have a great job, and be a good man. But women like this will always believe that they're entitled to better. and she'll do that while bravely collecting alimony after the divorce.
Men and women are not interchangeable. Moms and dads are not interchangeable. So this idea that like, oh, I can be a strong independent boss, babe, and I'll just outsource the child care, or dad can just stay home. You could argue that that's fine on some individual levels, but if we make this the like society-wide expectation, everything that allows you girls to think that you are strong independent boss babes who can do it on your own crumbles. It disappears. It turns to dust.
The only reason why these women think that they're strong and independent baddies is because men are behind the scenes keeping everything running, and yet she will always assume that she's awesome because she was only 3 days late with her maxed out credit card payment.
There's no more Wi-Fi, there's no more electricity, kiss your air conditioning goodbye, there's nobody to fix your car when it breaks, you don't have gasoline because there's no oil rig workers. Basically, this is all kind of Delulu land stuff. This idea that like, oh, we can just do whatever we want, and it just depends on my personal preference, and you know, it'll all be fine. What you want on a personal level is not the only question here. It's not the only moral question. It's not the only thing to consider. There's a greater good. Society has to work together as a whole.
Rather than accept that society needs men, these women will delude themselves into thinking that women will take the dangerous jobs of oil working, auto repairs, and infrastructure maintenance, and yet none of them will step up to take those jobs, I guarantee it. Modern women have zero concept of consequences. This is the end result of the quote-unquote boss bee lifestyle. It just leads to a lonely life in an empty house with no children. Men have been warning them about this for decades, and they wanted to learn the lesson the hard way. So I say they should go out and enjoy it.
One of my favorite ways to assert my dominance on the trail as a female hiker is when I see a guy pass me, I ask him, oh, was that your wife that just passed me like a mile ago? Obviously making the assumption that there was another woman that passed them. And every single time they get so defensive and they're like, what? No. Micro-feminism, ladies.
I can assure you, madam, those men aren't being defensive. They are bewildered and have no idea what you're talking about. But if your goal was to tell men that you're bitter and unpleasant, then consider it mission accomplished.
Okay, that's all I got. That's all I got. That is not. Oh my god. That took me 15 minutes. Don't use the level on your phone. It doesn't work. That's bullshit. I have failed. I'm not the man of the house. Pisses me off. Now I gotta do it again.
Imagine being so full of ignorant pride that you refuse to spend a couple of dollars on an actual level at a hardware store. It's a simple solution that could have saved you an entire day. Hope it was worth it.
No, I'm fine. I just ran into your house. Oh, I was gonna say, what the hell just happened? I ran into your house. With my phone? Yes, your phone is in here. Okay. You okay? Yes, I'm fine, but also, I tried to back it up, but then I ran into your house again.
I find it rather impressive how this woman was able to figure out a new and absurd way to drive in the most unsafe manner as possible, and it was also that she could be on her phone with a free hand, which is not surprising in the slightest.
First time ever since records began, 50.1% of women are childless by 30, so there are more women without children at 30 than there are women with children. The first time ever.
Well, somebody clipped a part of one of my podcasts, I believe it was, where I was talking about what our society does to 19-year-old women, or 18-year-old women, 19-year-old women. We just lie to them all the time. You know, the first lie is, there's nothing more important than your career, more or less by definition.
Modern women act like their career defines them as who they are as a person. They think a career is all they need to be happy in life, and if you ask them why, they won't be able to provide an answer.
That's the first lie. The second lie is there will be nothing more important to you in your life than your career. So that's the second lie. And then the third lie is there should be nothing more important in your life than your career. So that's the third lie. What I've seen is that as women progress towards their late 20s, there's a psychological transformation. And what happens is that they place less emphasis on their career and way more emphasis, particularly on having a child.
Modern women ignore their biological instincts, and that costs them dearly when it's far too late. They spend their prime years being offended at the notion of starting a family, only for them to become desperate a decade later. It's interesting, when we suffer from job burnout, we work through it because we have people depending on us. When a modern woman has a job burnout, she gets dramatic and has a breakdown on her phone.
Like, you need like an dude. Cause like, I feel like the nice guys get pushed over by you too much.
Yeah, cause you're kind of tough. You're too tough and you're kind of like abrasive.
You need a little bit of a yes.
You need someone who's gonna be like, shut up. But then be like,
and then I would never be, if a guy told me shut up, I would not.
Nah, but like he didn't mean it. He didn't mean it.
We're still on the lookout, boys. I'm not lonely, I'm just alone.
Bro, that sounded so lonely. I'm not, Jesus.
The cope is very strong with this one. This is what the modern woman's mentality actually looks like. It's a horde of mean, abrasive, conflict-craving drones who will crap all over perfectly good guys for virtually no reason. How on earth did this woman manage to do this? I feel like this was caused by a massive list of easily avoidable errors that were brought on by ignorance and straight up stupidity.
I've recently just, come to the realization that I don't like being a girlfriend. I hate it. I don't like being a girlfriend. I don't like being a girlfriend to anybody. I want somebody to be a boyfriend to me. And it's like, as bad as that sounds, that's just what it is. Like, cooking for you. I'm not washing your drawers.
Yeah.
I don't care about how you feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just want to vibe and...
I just want to vibe. I just want to chill. We can go out on dates. We can have fun. As friends, though.
It's interesting how she has a laundry list of things that she's not willing to do, followed by the things that she wants, but at no point does she mention anything she is willing to offer a man. But that's only because that would lead to an awkward silence.
Nothing more. I'm definitely not trying to get married no time soon.
For sure.
And that's just what it is. It's a lot always having to share yourself with someone. And right now I'm in a space where it's like, I'm so happy being alone. I wake up, I sleep by myself. I wake up every day. I sleep with my daughter. I wake up, I do what the hell I want. I ain't got to worry about who I'm affecting with my daily decisions.
Yeah.
Well done, madam. The good news is that you get to spend the rest of your life alone with your daughters, because after a good man sees this video, he's going to rethink wanting to take you out for coffee. His money is too valuable to waste.
All those feminists are full of shit. I'm going to tell you right now, someday there's going to be the first woman president. All right? Which means you don't even know what her platform is, and you automatically cheer. It's got the same failure. I'm telling you, they're not smart people. Feminists, they're not as smart as they're coming off. I'm telling you. Someday, there's gonna be... By the way, this is gonna be my last show ever, by the time this fucking is out. Someday, there's gonna be the first female president, which means...
He makes a really good point here, guys. These women automatically clapped at the idea of a female president without knowing a single thing about her. These women vote with their feelings and inform themselves with ignorance and cult slogans.
There's gonna be the first male first lady, right? And you wait. The first time that dude opens his mouth about some political shit, you watch all these feminists. They're all gonna be, you shut the f***. You shut the f***. It is her time now. It is her time. She was elected, not you. Go pick out some plates, bitch. You are the first lady. He's gonna get treated like Tom Arnold when he was with Roseanne. Secret Service name will be like Appendix or Doesn't Matter. Not worthy of protecting. Just entered the Oval Office. Not worthy of protecting.
I think Bill is being far too generous with this scenario. With how biased today's media has become, there is no way that the press is even going to bother asking the president's husband anything. That doesn't mean they won't relentlessly drag him through the mud, though.
Cook. That's fine, I'll do it myself. If the place gets dirty, I'm not gonna clean. That's fine, I'll do it myself. I am empowered, I am not washing dishes. That's fine, I'll do it myself. Lastly, I don't want to pay any bills or for my personal expenses. That's fine, I'll do it myself. Hey, so, so when do you want to go on a date? Date? What do I need you for? Wait, but you're who I'm looking for. No!
That's one of the biggest fallacies of womanism. Women think that men are incapable of taking care of themselves, even though we've been doing just that for thousands of years.
Water and oil, they don't mix. Yeah. So like, you know how the oil is hot, so it's overheating your car. So if you just put the cool water in it, it's gonna like keep the oil cold.
Okay, I'm gonna trust you. So
yeah. So just put it in. See? Yeah. Okay. I think you need to put more because you see how it looks ugly? Like we want it to look blue.
Like so, yeah.
Okay guys, so we're literally on the side of the road because the car like started making...
You know what's crazy? There has been this massive trend of women destroying their car engines, but at no point has any other woman seen these videos, so they're just going to keep destroying their own cars. And all it would take is a 20-second Google search to tell you what they did was a bad idea.
Weird noises? Like... you hit the rock like in the front, huh? Yeah. Like in the... I think... Oh. Is it... What
oh
is
my
that?
God. Is that oil?
No, dude, it's the water that we just put. That's why it's making the weird noise because the rock made all of the water go outside.
Then how are we gonna go back home?
Like, at least we got Starbies, you know? Yeah. We need to call like Gerardo or something.
You don't have to be a mechanic to cringe at this idiocy. Even if a man knows nothing about engines, he knows not to put washer fluid into the oil pan, but common sense will forever be lost on modern women.
It dawned on me that I'm 46 years old and I don't have a husband to take care of me. I don't have a husband to help me.
All my single friends, it's tough. I didn't think it was going to be this difficult to ever find someone just to share the simple pleasures of life.
What happened to men pursuing girls? When was the pivotal moment that a man chose to not go after a girl anymore and put in any effort?
Men stopped putting in the effort once modern women made it clear that men are obligated to do more and more and expect less and less from a woman. It's just not worth the effort.
Okay, this is for all my single girlies in their late 20s, early 30s. Where are we finding men now? I'm 30 and beginning to think that this whole dying alone thing isn't going to be like a running joke. It's going to be reality.
This is my reality. This is my reality. All the good men have gotten married in their 20s and 30s because they're good men.
She's acting like this is a stunning revelation, like this has been some kind of a secret being kept from her. Even though men have been telling her this for decades, the good men that she wants are either in her friend zone or got married. That hasn't changed.
A lot of little tiny things that I do that are microfeminism like acts. If you don't know what that is, long story short, it's like instead of just like standing up, burning your bra and screaming at people, it's like little acts that make men pissed off, and it's my favorite thing to do.
There's a word for that. It's called petty. She's trying to justify being petty towards random dudes because she's bitter at the world.
Top of the list is if somebody says I have to talk to the board, or I have to talk to the chairperson of the board, or I have to talk to the CEO or CFO or whoever, I will say, let me know what she says. Always she, like my default is she or her instead of he or him. Obviously, unless I know the person and I know that it's a man, I don't go out of my way to be wrong. Some people will say Miss and Mr. and then like their names, but I don't go that far out of my way. But I will, if I'm saying first names, like if I'm saying Jane and John, I'll say Jane first instead of saying John first.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, she's acting childish, rude, and unpleasant as a form of rebellion against an imaginary force that doesn't really exist, which isn't surprising, but also stupid at the same time.
If I'm on an email with a bunch of people who do not outrank each other, obviously this is like if there's not a secretary, not a assistant, anything like that, and someone has to send like a calendar invite or a Zoom invite or something like that, I will ask the men in the group to send it, or like a specific man in the group, like, hey John, do you mind sending that? If a woman says something in an email, like they do some research and they have an opinion on something and I think it's right, but I think more needs to get added, I will say, I think Jessica's 100% right. This is correct. I just want to add something like that. Like I'll affirm and then continue. But like if a man says it, I'll just say, I want to add, and I'll just go into whatever I'm going to add. And I think that part is just important because it's important to like cement, especially for women, to like boost confidence and just say like, hey, like call out to everyone else like, hey, they're right. They're smart and they're right.
What exactly is this supposed to accomplish? This is just passive-aggressive behavior that's borderline unprofessional. It solves nothing save to irritate the people around you. This just creates needless problems in the workplace. A man has no benefit to giving his seat up to a woman. All he's going to be doing is sacrificing his comfort for a woman who wouldn't even give him the time of day, which is just an apt description of modern dating in a nutshell.
What's your red flag for a guy?
A men's rights activist.
A men's rights activist. Oh, how does that Hold on, I gotta call my boy Andrew Tate. Hold on a second.
Do you know that men die younger than women?
If I think this conversation goes on any longer, I'm gonna kill myself.
Men over. Like this is not a women's issue.
I'm not an attorney, but it feels like you lost this case. He's so sad.
This is a woman who's never been told no a day in her life, and she cannot fathom the idea of a man putting her in her place, but she makes it so easy by being so damn unpleasant and woefully ignorant.
This is gonna be fun. This is gonna ruin the show. God damn it. Men do work more with dangerous jobs. That's the real thing. More men commit suicide, more men are in prison. I'm sitting down right now, I swear to God. Because I know one man ain't gonna live that long.
These women just throw the patriarchy excuse as their biggest argument as if it means something. But the argument can't be that strong if a simple shut up is enough to prove them wrong.
Quite literally rolling around in orange, trying to get this bottom thing off my car. I don't want to talk about it. I'm gonna cry. I'm trying to get this off, and I need a screwdriver to take it off. And I just wish someone would pull over and help me because I don't know what to do. Oh, someone just pulled over. No way.
Modern women will always break down in tears the second she's trying to prove herself as independent. In her eyes, crying and guilt-tripping a man into doing heavy labor is somehow a boss move.
Thank you so much.
I gotta say it, guys. This woman's reaction is how most independent women would react. And I know I might get a lot of hate for saying it, but this proves men's points when they roll their eyes at women that say, I don't need no man. Because sure, when things are going well for you and you're not running into any issues, you're not stranded on the side of the road with your car falling apart. Of course, you can be a little overconfident in what you're capable of handling. But don't forget that one, the reason why your life is pretty easy is because of men. And two, the second your life becomes not so easy, guess who you're going to be hoping and praying?
These women love to ignore the fact that men do a lot more than they claim, but they would rather live in ignorance rather than just admit that we need men in society. But anyway, guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Drop a comment, and I will see you all in the next one. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves. Peace.